I don't even understand that. Honestly, I don't. I'm right with Sal. I'm a turtle. And lays his eggs and hopes the pterodactyls don't eat them.
You know what? I was taking a nap yesterday, and I thought about Sal. I started laughing.
You and me both. I got to tell you, Robin, I was driving in my car yesterday, and I put on the wrap-up show. I listened to the replay. And the greatest line yesterday on the wrap-up show was belongs to Gary Dell'Abate. Sal was explaining again his dream, that not his dream, his regression,
right?
Which, by the way, is a dream. Sal still doesn't understand. Sal actually thinks he was a turtle in a previous life.
And for him, it was a regression.
Yeah.
He really regressed.
You can't regress any more than that. He was almost an amoeba. Oh, I can't believe it. I'm an amoeba.
I'm a turtle.
I'm a turtle. A pregnant turtle. Gary Dell'Abate, and Sal's talking about how, I'm telling you I'm a turtle. I can't believe I'm a turtle in a previous life.
This is crazy.
And I laid my eggs.
Turtle.
And I was trying to find and Sal was just going on and on and on. Finally, Gary goes, with all seriousness, he goes, Sal, I got to tell you, and I mean this as a compliment, you are a wonderful turtle. And I'm listening to these two maniacs talking. And I go, is anybody else listening to this? This is the greatest discussion. This should be a Broadway show. It's called an absurdist play. It's like a Pinter play. It's crazy.
Oh, it was just too much.
You are a wonderful turtle.
I'm a big turtle, and I'm pregnant.
Huh? Where's my staff? And, you try to explain to Sal, I'm listening to the wrap-up show, and John Hine does a good job of it. He's trying to explain to Sal that, Sal, you weren't really a turtle. That, again, you're in a dreamlike state, and somehow your subconscious pulled together elements of a dream, and however you're feeling or reflecting about yourself, that's why he chose a turtle. But this is all missed on Sal. And, Sal goes, oh, my God, I just can't. I thought maybe I'd be more in a previous life. I can't believe I'm a turtle. And not understanding the concept that
what John said at all.
Yeah, right. that Sal created the turtle.
Yeah.
That it's the way Sal feels about himself. And everyone's now caught up in Sal's ridiculousness. Even Benji goes, Sal, a lot of times a turtle, in ancient times, was considered a god. Something like this. And I'm like, oh, this is unbelievable. Now everyone's trying to make Sal feel
better about being a turtle.
About being a turtle. And you want to just shake Sal and go, Sal, do you understand anything? I saw him this morning. I go, hey, turtle. He goes, oh. He was very upset.
He's upset
I'm a turtle.
About the turtle.
Yeah, Sal's an amazing guy. And then I'm listening to the wrap-up show, and they bring Sal right back to that day when he was so anxious. He was working here a year or so, and we got him on the air. And we said to Sal, he was a new employee. For years we had known him as sort of this wacky guy that hung out on the streets. And, he was sort of the whack pack.
He carried signs. He made tons of phone calls to Gary. Yeah.
He was the stockbroker. And, so we gave him a job. And Sal began to have fantasies that came out on the air that he had to spend the night in the city. And that out of all the people who lived in the city, and many of us do live in the city, he was going to contact me and stay over my apartment. And his fantasy
was...
And
you were going to watch TV.
We were going to watch TV. We were going to eat hamburgers together. Now, I don't even eat hamburgers, and he had it in his head that he had this fantasy life with me.
Yeah.
And yesterday on the wrap-up show, John Hine brings it up again, and Sal is right back there with him. It's amazing. And no matter how many times they go back to Sal's stalkerish behavior, he still doesn't understand it. He doesn't really get it. He's been told it's wrong, and he kind of gets it. But he still doesn't really understand why I didn't want him in my apartment.
Right.
It's really quite remarkable. It really is.
What's the longest time, you went hurting from something that happened on the show? I'm guessing...
Probably when I wanted to sleep over his house. When you guys were making fun of me for quite some time, that really bothered me a lot.
How long did that sting for?
And by the way, that's the voice. That's the hurt Sal voice.
Right.
Yeah.
It still does a little bit. It's a lot better, but, when you bring it back up again, it just... I'll never get my point across the way I want, and you guys look at me like, well, I'm a stalker and a weirdo. Getting pigeonholed as a stalker, it hurts. Especially when you're working for the guy.
But it was sort of. You don't see it that? Do you think that we were wrong and you were right?
I think it was grossly exaggerated, but I see myself as wrong.
Yeah, he's been told he's wrong.
Right, he doesn't really know why.
Yeah,
I was wrong because I overestimated Howard. I thought that it wouldn't be a big deal to sleep over his house for one night if I had
still doesn't get that. Out of all the people on the show, he had to sleep over my house. This is a guy who'd spent years outside my studio hanging weird signs up about Gary.
Right.
In the city. That's where I was wrong. I mean,
figured to get hired and he'll be in my apartment.
Didn't know him that well. He didn't know me that well.
Sal, I know you now. How many years? I still wouldn't have you in my apartment. Ever. Didn't know me that well. The more I get to know him, the less
you're likely to have him in your apartment.
Perception of him was different, I guess, because I was such a fan for so long that I thought we had a different relationship, and that's my fault. The act of being wrong was to actually have the balls to ask this guy to do something when you're a new employee and he barely knows you.
I think what you're saying is you still think it was the right thing to do. It was the wrong timing.
In a different circumstance, I mean, look, Gary.
Well, you're here a lot longer now. Do you think now is a good time?
No, because he's made it clear that I'm an employee. This is a strictly professional environment, and we don't do that.
That ain't why I'm not having you over. I mean, this is a guy who used to jerk off to watching his aunts naked while they were in the bathroom.
He's done many things.
Yeah.
Howard, this is a guy that once went to a friend's house and took that guy's young daughter's underwear and sniffed it.
Yeah. I love him at work, but, I don't know if it's a good idea to have him in the house.
There's a sign that you read as you enter this compound, and it says, authorized personnel only.
Right.
And that's because we work with Sal.
Yeah, he's not authorized, you see.
We're authorized to be back here with him.
Hey, what if we put a sign on the door now that says, danger? There's a guy who thinks he's a turtle. Back here.
I'm a turtle.
Yeah, I know you're a turtle.
I'm a turtle.
Yeah, we've heard that already.
I'm a big turtle.
Endangered species.
The best was Gary. Yeah, I got to compliment you, and I mean this. You were a really good turtle. I got to agree with him. He took care of all of his babies.
Everybody was impressed with how loving he was and how concerned he was about his eggs.
Yes, Marianne from Brooklyn.